If you ever wish to understand exactly what The Rock's professional wrestling landscape is, look no further than the January 25th, 2016 episode of Monday Night Raw. One night removed from the Royal Rumble, and WWE produced your most basic of humdrum Raw telecasts, save for one 20-minute block. See, The Rock made a one-night appearance in which he insulted various WWE personnel backstage, interviewed some possibly inebriated cosplayers at ringside, and put the New Day in their place. And it was awesome. Electrifyingly awesome. Raw may have taken place in his hometown of Miami that night, but the crowd would have still lost their heads had the show been in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It also demonstrated just how plain everything else was when stacked up next to the People's Champion, because WWE has tried for years to give goofy catchphrases and penile insults to various babyface wrestlers, none of whom can deliver such lines with the energy, charisma, and conviction of one Dwayne Johnson. We know so much about The Rock, about his wrestling career, his filmography, and so much else. Let's take a look at some of the factoids that perhaps you didn't know about the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. I'm Sam from Cultaholic.com, and here are 10 things you didn't know about The Rock. Join us! Number 10. The most electrifying Canadian? Through his connection to the esteemed Anoa'i wrestling family, The Rock often gets labeled as Samoan, though that heritage only comes from his mother, Atta. His father, former WWE World Tag Team Champion Rocky Soulman Johnson, is mistakenly referred to as African American when he was in fact born in the Canadian province of Nova Scotia. Sources claim that Johnson is a descendant of the black loyalists who emigrated to Nova Scotia during the Revolutionary War, and Johnson said to have lived in Nova Scotia until the age of 16, at which time he moved to Toronto. When one thinks of a Canadian wrestler, names like the Hart family, Chris Jericho, Edge and Christian, and Kevin Owens all come to mind, but usually not The Rock. In 2009, Rock even went as far as to obtain Canadian citizenship in honor of his heritage. Of course, none of that stopped him from delivering his oh-so-quotable "Yay, he said Toronto" promo in 2003, which certainly belongs in his top 5 moments on the mic. Number 9. The Great One becomes the backup. Much has been made about The Rock's gridiron prowess, having played defensive tackle at the University of Miami in the early 90s. Rock was part of the 91 Miami Hurricanes team that were declared AP national champions in 1991, teaming with future NFL notables such as Jesse Armstead, Ryan McNeil, Michael Barrow, and Craig Erickson. Oh, and there was one other player who would end up making the Pro Football Hall of Fame down the line, but first, he had to take The Rock's spot. In fact, Warren Sapp outright told Dwayne Johnson during a spring practice that he was coming for Johnson's starting defensive tackle position. Sure enough, Sapp mowed past Johnson to win the starting position and would eventually power his way through 13 NFL seasons with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Oakland Raiders. During his lengthy career, Sapp made 7 Pro Bowls, won Super Bowl 37 with Tampa Bay, and was elected to the Hall of Fame in 2013, his first year of eligibility. The self-professed QB killer began his rise to greatness by outperforming the Great One. And how many people can say that? Number 8. The power of paying attention. Few wrestlers in wrestling are able to go shot for shot with The Rock when it comes to getting catchphrases over. Whether it's the tongue flicks on the word smell or his slang phrases for genitalia, The Rock has a way of making verbiage stick. One of The Rock's earliest quotable quips was a command in which he'd implore the fans or a rival wrestler to know their role and shut their mouth, particularly in his presence. And if the story is to be believed, the Know Your Role line came from Rock's former on-camera leader, Farouk. As a veteran wrestler, the real-life Ron Simmons would tell those he worked with in a friendly manner to make sure they knew their role when they were out there performing, and it was Rock who saw potential in these words. And once Rock began his full transformation from Rocky Maivia into The Rock, he began incorporating buzz phrases into his arrogant spiel, and it turns out that Farouk provided the inspiration for one of Rock's most notable taunts. Number 7, a 6-pack of gold. No, we're not talking about his filthy, dirty, sexy, sweaty abs. When The Rock first won the WWE Championship in November 1998, most would have agreed that there would be more coming, especially considering the accelerated pace of title changes in that time. Just 1 year earlier, Bret Hart had tied Hulk Hogan's record of 5 WWE Championship reigns, and back when Hogan reached that mark, no other wrestler had ever had more than 2 reigns with the strap. Less than 2 years after winning his first WWE Championship, Rock matched Hart and Hogan at the 2000 King of the Ring and shattered the record 8 months later, winning his 6th by defeating Kurt Angle at No Way Out 2001. Austin, and even Hogan tied Rock's mark of 6 WWE Championship reigns in the year that followed, and Rock beat both to 7 reigns in July 2002. With his win over CM Punk in early 2013, Rock sits at 8 reigns with the belt, a mark that only John Cena, Randy Orton, and Triple H are ahead of. Number 6. One hell of an amicable split. In May 1997, The Rock was married to Dani Garcia, a woman he'd met during his time at the University of Miami. The couple were married for little more than 10 years before they announced they would be amicably splitting up. If you've ever come within 10 feet of a tabloid newspaper or subjected yourself to celebrity gossip news on TV or the internet, you know how ugly star divorces can be. An action star like The Rock splitting with his wife, would any nastiness follow? As a matter of fact, the precise opposite is true. To this day, Garcia serves as her ex-husband's manager, leading a team at the William Morris Endeavor Talent Agency that's solely focused on Johnson's career interests. Johnson had reportedly asked Garcia to take over his management shortly after the release of The Tooth Fairy in 2010. She also helped steer Johnson away from trite family comedies that did nothing to spotlight Rock's kick-ass action star qualities and effortless swagger. His success since that switch is flat out incredible, which leads us to number 5, millions and millions. While it would certainly be a treat to have The Rock gracing Monday Night Raw on a weekly basis once more, you can understand why he prefers life in Tinseltown. His time in WWE afforded him a global profile and astounding popularity, but life as a movie star has taken the great one to even greater heights. In the summer of 2016, even wrestling fans that are apt to chant "You sold out" saw the numbers, and had to begrudgingly agree that The Rock has far outgrown the business. For the one-year stretch spanning from June 2015 to 2016, The Rock earned the title of world's highest paid actor, earning a staggering $64.5 million. That run included his performances in popular films like Furious 7, San Andreas, and Central Intelligence. 1 year later, The Rock was bumped to number 2 by Mark Wahlberg, despite actually making $65 million for the 2016-2017 stretch, which included his work in Moana and Fate of the Furious. Marky Mark just nipped him at $68 million, although he had to act in a pretty lousy Transformers movie in order to reach that number. So who's the real winner here? Number 4, an unlikely Mania fact. Okay, back to wrestling. Fun is fun, and we love movies as much as everybody else, but right now here at Cultaholic, we're all about the grappling. The Rock has understandably been a big part of WrestleMania over the years, having wrestled on 11 different grandest stages. In all, Rock's record at the event is 6 wins and 5 losses, though the number is less impressive in main events or the last match of the night for you folks that buy into the WrestleMania can have multiple main events silliness. In WrestleMania main events, Rock's record is a mere 1 win and 4 losses. The only time The Rock ever won a WrestleMania main event was, believe it or not, in his part-time comeback run when he defeated John Cena to end WrestleMania 28. Before then, he'd lost 3 straight Mania Mainers from 15 through 17, though he should have won at 2000, let's be fair. He also lost the rematch to Cena in the twice in a lifetime WWE title match. Regardless, Rock is the only man that can say he's defeated Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, and John Cena each at WrestleMania. It's impressive unto itself. Number 3, Saturday Night Royalty. It was such a sure sign of professional wrestling's popularity when The Rock hosted the long-running Saturday Night Live in March 2000. Only one wrestler had ever hosted the show previously, which was when Hulk Hogan co-hosted the program with Mr. T the night before the first WrestleMania. Vince McMahon, Triple H, Mick Foley, and The Big Show joined Rock for what turned out to be a memorable broadcast, though sadly no footage exists of McMahon, according to Foley, wildly dancing during AC/DC's performance on the show. Since that night, and owed to his non-wrestling fame, Rock has hosted the show on 4 other occasions, most recently in May of 2017. As a result of that broadcast, The Rock became the 19th individual in Saturday Night Live's 43-year history to have hosted the show 5 times. SNL even acknowledges this feat with its 5-timers club, which includes heavyweights like Steve Martin, Alec Baldwin, Tom Hanks, Drew Barrymore, Christopher Walken, and others. The only members of the club that even match up to The Rock on a physical level are the burly John Goodman and the diminutive Danny DeVito, whose performance as the crazed Trash Man on a wrestling-themed episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia should have earned him an Emmy. Number 2. Greatness isn't bound by time. We mentioned earlier that The Rock was the first man to reach 6 WWE Championships won, and would also be the first to capture that belt on 7 occasions. It's not the only impressive factoid that ties The Rock with the company's richest prize. He's also managed to pull off a rare feat that is a tribute to the endurance of his stardom. When The Rock defeated CM Punk to win the belt for the 8th time at the 2013 Royal Rumble, he became just the 2nd man to have won that particular belt in 3 different decades. His golden run began at the 1998 Survivor Series, and he would capture his 4th at Backlash 2000. The first man to manage the decade hat-trick was Hogan, whose victory over Triple H at Backlash 2002 gave him the 80s, 90s, noughties trifecta. Triple H has since joined the group as well, as a result of winning the belt in the 2016 Royal Rumble. And number 1, remembering his roots. The Rock's hold on Hollywood goes beyond just serving the leading man in profitable action films and comedies. He also produces some of the movies on which he starred, including Baywatch, Jumanji, and Rampage, not to mention the upcoming Page Here movie Fighting With My Family, as well as television programs like The Hero, Wake Up Call, and the hilarious HBO series Ballers. These properties are at least in part made possible by Rock's own production company, 7 Bucks Entertainment. How did it earn that name? For Dwayne Johnson, it goes back to the humbling moment in his life, in which he was cut from the Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League. It was 1995, and professional wrestling wasn't really on the cards yet. The football dream was dead, his relationship with his future wife had hit hard times, and he was nearly broke. Faced with nothing but bleakness and uncertainty, Johnson recalls having just $7 in his pocket. Now as a megastar that is richer than perhaps he could have ever fathomed, Johnson produces projects under the 7 Bucks header, never forgetting his own personal rock bottom. And that's our list. Are there any other interesting facts about The Rock? Let us know in the comments below. I've been Sam from Cultaholic.com, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you like what we do at Cultaholic, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. Anything you donate will be recycled back into the business to create more high quality content. And most importantly of all, never forget to join us.